Welcome to Golf Talk with Tiff. Yes, that's me, Tiff, the lady golf teacher. What I will do here is build belief in you to accomplish your dreams for your golf. I'll be your mentor and give you the skills, strategies, and guidance to make it happen. Tee it high, let it fly. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey there, Tiff here, or welcome to Golf Talk with Tiff. Lovely to have you back, and we're going to get into some good stuff today. Why must you have routines in your golf? Now, the simple answer is that it keeps you steady, or it keeps you, that magic word, consistent. That's why we need to have routines. Because what routines will do is they will actually help you play better golf. It's not just about the technical side. It's not just about the mental side. It's just not about the physical side, that we talked about in a previous episode. It's actually talking about what you're doing before your game of golf, during your game of golf, after your game of golf, after you've played a shot, before you've played a shot, how you approach things in between you play your shots. That's what you got to be looking at. And those are the things that are actually going to help you perform better, stay steady, and stay consistent. So the question then becomes are there better routines than others? Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share with you routines that will benefit you to help you play better. But not only that, it's really about being consistently steady in your game, okay? Steady and consistent in your game. So we've got to get out of this mode of thinking that golf is a big roller coaster ride, because we know that we talk about that kind of thing, and we have the ups and downs of golf, and we have the extremes, the 40-something points and the 20-something points, and we feel like there's such an extreme. But what we want to do really here is we want to settle into playing much steadier golf for better performances, not only when you practice, but obviously and always when you're out on the course, ways in which you can perform so much better. So this high and low thing, we don't want to say, oh, well, that's golf and that's what happens. It actually doesn't have to be like that. So here are some routines to consider. So what I'm going to share with you is the name of some routines, and I'm going to unfold and share with you what you could do in those particular routines that could help you. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by them. So you could use one routine and get started that way. You could use two, or you could use all of them. I just want you to use these routines that are going to help you feel more comfortable. And if you do it I always find if you do like golf, one step at a time, one shot at a time, one swing thought at a time, one focus at a time, it helps then build the overall picture, and it gives you that time and space to feel comfortable. So here's some routines that I'm going to share with you. I'm just going to name them first, and then I'll outline them more in detail after I've mentioned what they are, so you can start thinking about them. So here's number one is morning routine prior to playing, and this is like when you get up in the morning. This is before you go to the golf course, what your morning routine looks like. A driving or travel routine, the second one. Third one, a checking in routine, what you do to go and check in, what kind of structure you have around that. A warm-up routine, and the warm-up routine is what you're really doing prior to teeing off. Your first tee routine, what you're actually doing when you go to the first tee. So you may play off the first tee or the 10th tee, but it's your first tee of the round, what kind of routine and approach you have for that. A pre-shot routine, so what kind of routine that you go through prior to actually playing your shot. An after-shot habit, what you actually do after you play that shot, what your approach is. An in-between shots routine, so what you do in between your shots, so as you're moving to the next ball, what you do there. And an end-of-game routine, so what you do at the end of your round or your game, what kind of routine you've got in place there. So I've thrown quite a few routines at you already, and you're probably thinking, oh my God, Tiff, there's so many routines. How am I going to do all of that? remember, just focus on one that really resonates with you. And then when you feel really comfortable with that, then add another routine, right? There's no rush. The problem that I find with people is that they're trying to rush things and they're trying to make things happen quicker. And you know what? Just doesn't work that way. What we have to do is we have to give ourselves permission. We have to give ourselves space to learn something and get that right. Then we can add the next thing to it. It's like, you're putting foundations in place for the house, and then we put one brick next to another brick, and we slowly build those bricks up. So we're putting those foundations and building that house. And that's what you're actually doing with your golf game. We're just doing one brick at a time, one step at a time, and building this so that you've got this great house, and your house is your golf game, and you're playing the way that you want to. Okay, so that's all we're doing here. So remember, don't feel rushed. Don't feel that you've got to do everything yesterday. Doesn't work that way. One step at a time. Do things that make you feel comfortable. Yes, I'm a big fan of also pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. But in this specific case, I want you to just focus on where you feel comfortable. That's going to help keep you steady. If that keeps you steady, then that keeps you more consistent. So let's look at the morning routine in more detail. So this is prior to playing. So what I want you to be looking at is, well, what's your morning routine? When you get up, before you go to the golf course, what do you do? How do you mentally prepare for your day? How do you meditate? Do you do breathing exercises? What kind of words do you say to yourself? When you're walking around, do you go for a walk in the morning to limber your body up, or do you do some stretching? What kind of food do you prepare to take with you? What kind of drinks that you take? What are you going to wear? What shoes are you going to wear? Obviously golf shoes, but what kind of, some of us like to have everything matching. You're looking at your clothing and your shoes and your socks and all of that kind of thing. Equipment, is your equipment clean? Your golf clubs, you want to make sure they're nice and clean, because then the ball responds so much better off the club face. What kind of balls? Make sure the balls that you're going to use prior to playing, they're clean as well. Again, it's all about a good response off the club face. So just have a look at what your morning routine consists of, and how you're actually preparing yourself prior to actually getting in the car, driving down to the golf course. Or you may even walk to the golf course, you may even ride your bike, whatever it is that you do. But what does that routine look like of a morning prior to actually leaving your home? Then you've got your next routine. So the second one is the driving routine, or your travel routine. When you drive to the course, or you walk to the course, or you bike to the course, or you catch a bus, or whatever it is that you do, what do you listen to? Do you have a chat with people, and give people a ring? So you're trying to, manage your time better. Are you speaking to positive people? If you get on the phone and talk to people, it's highly likely you'd be better off talking to positive people versus people that are sort of going to bring you down. What words do you say to yourself? Do you listen to music, or do you listen to books, or do you listen to type mantras, or do you listen to words that are going to feed your mind, make you feel positive? Do you have some type of mantra or something that you say to yourself when you're driving? I have all these sorts of things. There's specific things that I listen to when I'm driving to work, even not even playing golf, but driving to work, because I want to feed my mind with the right information, so that I know that my day is set up for success. Even if I'm teaching, I approach it the same way. What type of words do you use as a mantra that helps keep you focused? I find listening to the news a lot can be, news tends to be, they look at a lot of the negative things that happen in the world versus the positive things. So that's probably not a good thing to listen to prior to playing, but again, you're the master of your destiny, so you want to look at what you're actually doing and listening to in your travel routine. Then the next one, the third one's the checking in routine. So what kind of things do you do? What do you do when you arrive? You unpack your car and get yourself ready. You put your shoes on and all of that kind of thing. Maybe go to the bathroom. You go and check in. Do you golf, or do you go and have a chat with some friends or the staff and say hello, and that helps loosen you up a bit more. If you have a warm-up routine, which is going to follow your checking in routine, I recommend definitely giving yourself a bit of extra time if you like to have a chat, which is great. I do not recommend having a chat. Having a chat's great, loosens you up. Again, speaking to positive people, people that make you feel happy, that's who you want to surround yourself with. And the big thing here is don't feel rushed. So with your checking in routine, whether you're going to do your checking in routine before your warm-up routine, which is going to follow, or after, it's up to you. Whatever order that you want to put it in is fine. So then we move on to the warm-up routine. So what is a warm-up routine? Well, hopefully you've done a bit of stretching and limbering up and so on prior to there. If not, have that as part of it as well. And then go in this order is actually really good. And if you don't get a chance to do all of these, do some of these, but you definitely want to putt first. Don't putt last. A lot of people putt last, but if you actually putt first, it helps find the feel, warms up the smaller muscles, gets the feel, so you're nice and soft and getting the feel for that, those putts. Then the next thing that you want to do is go and hit a few chips. Then you want to, after that, go and do some pitches. Then you go and do some bunker shots, and then do your full swing. And I always recommend to do your full swing last, because it's the first thing that you're actually going to do when you step on your first tee or 10th tee, whichever tee you're going to start from, because it's going to be the last thing that you practice with. Therefore, it's going to be the first thing that you actually hit with. So also, whatever club that you use, so if you're teeing off with the driver on that tee, first, make sure your last 5 swings anyways, at least the driver, okay, or whatever club it is. If you might be playing a par 3 hole and you might only need an 8-iron, for example, then use that as your last club. Okay, because you want that last club to be the club that you use that you're going to tee off with. So that's a really good warm-up routine to do. And notice that it's all in a progression. So you do your putts, then your chip, then your pitch, then your bunkers, then your full swing. It's all leading in for a small swing, slightly bigger swing into the full swing. Okay, so the fourth routine, first tee routine. How do you approach the first tee? Are you calm? Are you breathing slowly? Do you feel happy and excited to be there, ready to play? Are you ready to enjoy your round? Because you want to find a way to help you feel happy and excited about being there and positive. You don't want to feel negative. Do you chat with friends prior to teeing off that helps make you relax? If that's great and that works for you, do that. If you don't like to chat to anyone, don't feel that you have to. Just say hi and don't get too engaged in their conversation. And that's okay too. You're not being rude. You're just getting yourself prepared to play. So the thing that I want you to really understand here is we want to feel relaxed. We want to feel calm and ready to play the best shot that we can off the first tee. See, most people don't warm up prior to playing, and then they spend, that might take 3 holes, 4 holes, maybe even 9 holes to actually get going, and you've wasted so many holes because you're still trying to find your swing. That's why it's really good to warm up first prior to actually getting out and starting off. Okay, thoroughly recommend that. So the next routine, number 5, is a pre-shot routine. So what you want to be looking at is what type of routine do you have prior to hitting the ball? Do you line it up and do you do a practice swing? Do you breathe? Do you take your time? Do you have any key focus or words that you say prior to hitting the ball? I know mine was initially when I first started to play because I lacked trust, and I think I spoke about that in Learning to Trust. An episode that I did a few episodes ago was my big words were trust your swing, because I didn't have any trust. So that was the type of words that I would use when I stood over the ball before I actually hit it. It was like, trust your swing. And so, is there something that you want to say to yourself prior to hitting the ball? A swing thought. I've talked about having swing thoughts as well, like one swing thought or one focus that you say prior to playing your shot, so it helps keep you focused on playing that specific shot. So that's what you want to do in your pre-shot routine. Number 6 is an after shot habit. So what do you do after you've hit the ball? So look at what you say. Never say good shot or bad shot, because we don't want to get overly emotional about the shots. We want to feel a bit more neutral, because again, that's going to help you stay nice and steady. So what do you do after? Do you go and clean the club? Do you put it in the bag? How do you operate after? Do you look at, stay there and hold your pose for a little while? Whatever it is your after shot habit is, make sure that you do that routinely. Okay, you can see here that everything's all about routines. Okay, so that's all about to keep you nice and steady. Number 7, in between shot routine. What do you do when you're walking between each shot? Do you have a chat and get your mind off things? Or you you're very social and you want to chat with your friends? All good, right? There's no wrong here. You do what works best for you. I'm not a big chatter. Sometimes I have a bit of a chat, but when I'm really zoned in and focused on my game, I like to just keep to myself and have quiet time. That's okay too. Or, you might be quite chatty and social and you like to chat with your friends. Great, do that too. If that helps get your mind off things and helps keep you relaxed and helps you enjoy, that's the whole purpose of what we're doing, isn't it? We want to enjoy the game. Do you like it to be quiet so that you've got time for you, i.e. no chatting? Do you breathe slowly, or are you in a rush? So look at the things that work best for you. Some people like to rush through, and they I find like certain personality types like to rush through things. They tend to respond to that quite well. They don't like downtime or slow time. Or I'm the opposite. I like to have slow time and take my time. I like to breathe and stay calm. Especially in golf, I find golf's more of a calming type sport versus tennis, where you're physical and you're on the move all the time. It's a very different sort of sport. So again, find what works for you in between shots. Start looking at all these areas in these routines and see what works best for you, and then you apply it. And then number 8 is the end of game routine. What do you do at the end of your game? Do you go and have a drink and have a chat to wind down and spend some time with your playing partners? I mean, we all do that out of etiquette anyway. A bit difficult at the moment when you're in lockdown, but in normal situations, we like to have a catch up and have a chat and just talk about whatever. Also talk about the game. Do you go off and do some stretching, or do you want to go and practice some more and work on an area that you felt like needs a bit more work? Do you analyze your game, i.e. ask those 2 questions that we've spoken about before? What works well, what doesn't work well? So you can see that all of these routines, so the morning routine prior to playing, your travel routine, your checking in routine, your warm-up routine, your first tee routine, your pre-shot routine, your after-shot habit, your in-between shots routine, your end-of-game routine, all of these routines you can use, or maybe just start with one and gradually add more as you go, as you feel more and more comfortable. The whole idea is I don't want you to feel overwhelmed here. It's just giving you some suggestions in ways in which you're going to help keep yourself really steady when you go and play your game of golf. So you see, it's what you do in between your shots that will be the thing that will give you that steadiness, that consistency that you're looking for. So all of these routines are designed to help keep you steady, to help keep you consistent, and to get what you are wanting out of your golf game. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard, and share with me really what routines are you going to start to implement. Are you going to use all of them? Are you going to use 1 or 2, or what are they, and what you've identified, what's going to work really well for you? I'd love to hear what routines you're going to put in place. So if you could share with me what you're going to do, that would be fantastic. Love to hear from you. And if you've got friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, please share them with your friends so we can build the Lady Golf Teacher community as big as we possibly can, so we can all reach our potential in our golf. You have the ability and opportunity to do that, so take advantage of that. And the other thing that I want you to do is dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. And then when you've done that, you're going to teet high, let it fly, and put those routines in place. So look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Talk soon. Bye for now. Before you go, do you want to build confidence, belief, strength, and courage in you to go after your big dreams in your life and in your sport? If you do, go to www.tiffany-mika.com and get a copy of my book, Focus, How to Reach Your Potential in Sport, Business and Life. I look forward to seeing you there. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams.